All right. Hi. I think we are live. I'm not sure. We'll wait and see if other people find us and join us. So we will get started. Just trying to see if there's other people who are going to find us. And it's so nice to see you, Evelyn. I'm so happy we're doing this.
It's good to see you. I am too. I'm so glad to be working with you.
Yes, really excited. So we'll give it a few more minutes and see if any of our friends join us. I'm going to, if somebody's there, leave us a comment so we know you're there. This beginning part is always crazy. So today I am super, super excited to be joined by Evelyn Knight. And I'm going to let you introduce yourself in just a few minutes, but I'm just trying to see if there's any other friends who might be joining us. Don't you think this is the most awkward? When you go live, you wait for people.
Yes, the beginning part is the most because you watch and wait and it takes time for people to see that you're live. So you want to see if they hop on. And yes, it is definitely the most awkward time.
Yeah, so I'm just saying it live now. And I wonder if I tag you on your page, will that help? I'm not sure.
Yes, and I can share it too. Let's see. I'll go in and share. Let me see. Where are you?
Yeah, I just tagged you and I just sent you there. So
oh, perfect.
Yeah, that maybe is helpful. And then we'll try to see if anybody else tries to join us. And we'll talk about your passion. That is what I'm excited about. You know, everybody has their secret sauce and everybody has their little niche that they're just gifted and talented in that space.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about you so that we can get warmed up while we wait for others to come.
Oh, my name, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Evelyn Knight. I am the host of the Childcare Business Coach podcast, and I'm also the founder and CEO of Childcare Business Professionals, which is a company that helps owners and directors find success in running a childcare center. I really like to focus on the business practices, since in our industry, people don't really know business. We are child-minded, we're teachers, we're moms, but we're not business people. So I really try to help those childcare leaders bridge that gap so that we can have successful centers. And my number one focus is to make sure that those centers are research-based. I am different from other coaches because I own a childcare center, and I'm
very unusual. You know, most people have done this and moved on.
They don't, right, exactly. But I am currently an owner. I'm actually looking at opening another center, and I've done it all. I've built a center from the ground up. I've taken over centers. I've reopened centers. I've been a director. I've even been the cook in a childcare center. So I know
that was my hardest job. That was my hardest job. When I was a director, I would be so grateful when the chef showed up that day.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just please be so grateful because you're here?
Yes. And the van drivers too. Those were the ones that were just like, ugh. But yeah. And I think that's what sets me apart. I've done it all. I've been an owner, director, driver, so I get it. I can relate. I understand. And I am still an owner. So I'm still experiencing what is going on, and I'm at my center, and you work with me at my center. And so we've recently contracted you at my center. So, I wear the hat. So
yeah,
on experience when I'm coaching my clients.
And that's such a blessing. And yes, I am contracting with you because I'm so excited to do that long distance.
I know, it's so fun.
Of Zoom, who knew? And I think what you're right, what sets you apart is you've walked those shoes, you are currently walking those shoes, and you can relate.
Yeah.
So, we've all heard about leadership, management, business, la 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 la. If somebody listening, wants a quick nugget, because these are just pop in, get a nugget, and pop out.
Yeah.
So if you had to share your top 2 tricks, strategies, nuggets for being a leader that can grow a team, build a team, retain a team, hire a team, whatever, investing in your personnel, what would you say to somebody listening right now?
Well, two things I would say, and just kind of to put a little bit of a story. I was once a failing owner and I did not know. So I hired a business coach because why reinvent the wheel? But I think what I really learned is that your staff is the heartbeat of your center. And you have
100%.
to, yeah, you've got to understand and know that everybody is replaceable, including you.
Yes.
And so the thing that you need to realize and know is that they are the heartbeat and you got to treat them like they are the gold that they are. You've
Yes.
got to be open to them. You have to, I don't know, you got to walk a mile in their shoes to a certain extent, but just realize and show them how much you appreciate them. The second thing is you have to have vision. You have to have a very strong and clear, contagious vision. Because the way I explain it is, if you're going on vacation, you're going to have a destination in mind, right? And then you go into your maps, you plan it out, and then you have your itinerary that's going to take you there. It's no different in business. Your vision is going to be like that destination, right? And then everything else is going to be your roadmap to get to that vision. And I can tell you, whenever I'm here, like owners and directors struggling with, I can't retain, it's because you don't have vision. If you're clear on your vision, you know what it is, and you know how to make it contagious.
That's the word. You got to make it contagious.
It can't just be you. It's got to be about them too. Because remember that your staff is your lifeblood. So you've got to have those people who are like-minded, who love your vision, and who also make that their own vision. So you've got to have that passion. And I mean,
be on the right bus, in the right seat, so that the whole bus can get excited and can see the vision and can drive, because you're not driving in a lone car. You're taking a bus. You're taking the team with you. I think that's it. If they can relate to it, if they can see it, it's not going anywhere. And so what are some tricks to hire the right people? I always feel like interviews is a gamble. You have no idea who's going to show up, no idea who interviews and who shows up for work.
So well, absolutely. Because when we go for an interview, we're putting on our best face, right? And there's tons of YouTube videos out there on how to interview, how to answer these questions, so you never know who you're really interviewing. So I actually have a model of recruiting. I don't like hiring, I like recruiting. So what I train my clients on, and I have a whole training series on hiring and onboarding, but basically what I'm looking for are character and values. And I cannot teach somebody character. I can't teach them work ethic. That is something that it has to be them. But I can teach them how to be a preschool teacher. I can put them through school. I can train, but I can't teach somebody who the core of them are. So those are the things I'm looking for: character, and I want their values to align with my values.
So how do you frame some questions? Let's get to the nitty-gritty now. What are some good questions that you've come up with that'll tell you somebody's character, values, aligns with what you stand for?
So my background is in neurological psychology. So my interview process is pretty lengthy, and the questions I've come up with are actually trick questions to really get into the psychology of a person. And one of the things I ask everybody all the time is, tell me about the last manager you worked under. How do you think they could improve their job? And what I'm really looking for there is, if you've got somebody who comes out and just like, oh, let me tell you about this woman, you're going to tell, are they going to be a control freak? Are they gossips? Are they going to be manageable? Are they, by these questions, you can see, like, who are you really dealing with? Are they lazy? Different things like that. Where, so my whole interview process is set up, and I actually have a 3-step interview process. So people will be with us 3 different times before we hire them. And I think the best part of my interview process that we adopted was, if they've made it past the first 2 stages, we have a round table, and I bring 3 or 4 of my teachers in, and they get to interview.
Love it.
And that's where, the best questions. Teachers come up with the best questions for interviewers.
I like what you just said, that talked about your previous supervisor. How could they have done their job better? So I've done the talk about your previous or director, boss that you liked or you didn't like and why, but I had never used the sentence, how could they have done their job better? I think
Yes.
that's a good one. Definitely having many layers to the interview is helpful because then you can see them in different settings.
You're going to see different faces. Yes.
Yeah. I've also done go in the classroom and co-teach. Like, we're not counting them with ratio, but I want to see you interact. I want to see you flow in that age group.
That's our second phase. So
Okay,
first phase,
cool.
we sit down and interview them. If they make it past that, then they have to come in and spend 2 hours in the classroom. What I tell them is the first hour, I just want them to sit back, be a fly on the wall, and just observe. And I really want to see, what are they really going to do? Because, if I'm in a classroom, I can't just sit back and observe. I got to play with those kids, right? So I want to see how they act.
Yeah.
Second thing we do then is we do actually ask them to do like a circle time, something different, so we can see how do they perform. But a lot of times I like hiring people with no experience, so I don't expect it to be perfect. I just want to see what are their interactions like.
Awesome. So we've got the right person, we've done the interview, and now you've hired them. And you said you don't hire, you
I like to recruit.
You recruit.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more. Once they've joined you, this is a high level in a nutshell, your process, your secret sauce.
Absolutely.
You're giving it away for free. Imagine that, Evelyn. You're just giving it away.
Yes. So I think this is where the magic happens. Once you've hired them in our industry, people literally just throw these teachers in. It's like throwing them to the wolves, and then just like, there you go. And then later, a year from now, we're just like, oh, they're just not performing to my standard. We have these high expectations, but we don't give them the tools they need. So my center, my program has a 6-month onboarding process. And I know that sounds excessive, and a lot of owners are probably thinking, oh my gosh, that sounds expensive.
6 months is a long time. Like, that's a big investment.
It's a big investment, but you want them to stay with you, which is why, like, you've seen my staff. I mean, Alana that you're working with has been with me for 13 years. And a lot of my staff members have been with me 10 plus years. Wow. So what we do with the onboarding process is 30 days. It's going to be an intensive,
sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm sorry. It's crazy. Okay.
So the first 30 days, they're going to do an on-the-job training where every day we give them like a little packet they have to fill out throughout the day. My teachers are also trained on how to train them. So don't have to worry about paying somebody for training hours that they're not in the classroom. They're still in the classroom counting for ratios, but you're making sure that everything is very intentional. So that's the first 30 days. Then after that, we do every 30 days after that, we are going to do touch points, trainings, and whatnot. But it is a very well-constructed 6-month program. The reason I constructed it this way is because statistics show if you can assimilate somebody into your program within that first 6 months and really within that first year, and they really feel a part of it, they are going to be more prone to staying with you.
100%.
So that's why our onboarding process is 6 months.
I really think that's, talking about the intentionality behind it, is talking about building the relationships along the way.
Exactly.
Because it's never about just the place you work or just the boss that you show up for, right? It's all about who are my peers, who is my boss, can I relate to them? It's all about relationship. And I think this is why you and I are very similar in our human approach. It's all about those. So 6 months is a good time.
Yeah.
The co-peers are having a chance to connect, to give feedback, and to mentor. And that relationship is already starting.
You brought up a really good point in that as leaders, we need to be mentors. We don't need to just be a manager or a boss. We need to be mentors. So for those of you watching, if you're struggling with retention, it's probably because you're coming at your staff from a management perspective instead of a mentor's perspective. We need to coach and mentor our staff.
Yeah, people use the word coach and mentor so interchangeably, but to me, there's a difference. A coach kind of walks you through step by step, guides you the next steps. A mentor, you can still be inspired by, motivated by, learn by osmosis.
Yes.
And, for us to become inspiring leaders, we got to have that coach mentor hat.
Yep.
We need the manager hat just to maintain the logistics, but that's where the heart of the work gets done, the mentor and the coaching space.
Yes.
What are some strategies that you have? Because I know directors are busy people.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody has any time. So what are your tricks for mentoring and coaching on the fly? Like, how have you?
Well, first, I have to qualify that I think that not having time is a major fallacy. And the first thing I teach my clients is we really do have time. It's just we need to learn how to manage our time. And I can tell you, you know me, Prerna, I own two business. I run two businesses.
I'm so impressed.
2 children. I also care for a sick husband. And I tell my people all the time, if I've got time, you've got time. Trust me, I do. So, and I'm also my state's VP of public policy for NAEYC. So
like you didn't have enough, like just in case.
I wear a lot of hats, but it all comes down to how do you manage your time? How well do you know your time? And so basically, number one thing I can give you guys on that, just a quick 20-second, is you need to learn how to respect your time, and you need to teach others how to respect your time. When you do that, suddenly you have time to do things. My center has 195 children enrolled, and my director has enough time every month to observe each classroom and have classroom meetings with every single classroom.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
She touched point with every teacher every month. And that's just because she's got really good time management. So it isn't that we don't have time, it's that we don't know how to manage our time. So it's something I really caution people to be careful of.
So what is your trick for managing time, and how is your director finding time for every teacher once a month? I love that, because she's visible, she's available, and they respond so much better to that. So,
and I can tell you, I do the training I do to teach people time management is like a week-long training, but just to give you guys a quick overview on it, it's basically there's 2 things I do. I think the most important thing is really to learn to teach people to respect your time. So one of the biggest tricks I can give you guys to change your life really is to learn how to have what I call fire time. Fire time for me is I do this personally for my mornings, and I also do this at work. And they're a block of about, in the morning, it's only 30 minutes in my personal, in the work, it's an hour and a half. And everybody knows, my staff is trained to know from this time, 12 to 1:30, that is my fire time. That means if the building is not on fire, do not bother me. That's literally what I call it, fire time. Unless it's an emergency, I need to get my work done. And my children know, same thing. My children are older. I mean, I know you can't tell a 2-year-old, but my children know too that from, like 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m., this is my time to just do my devotional, meditate. This is fire time. So unless the house is burning down, do not bother me.
I like the vocabulary, fire time. I think if you all speak the same language,
Yes. And that's why I figured it, because I use it as like, this is my time unless it's an emergency. If the building's burning down, you can come and get me. But otherwise, this is my time. I got to get my work done. And what I explain to my staff, and if you put it in perspective for them, right, tell them what you guys need to understand is there's 20 of you, right? There's 20 teachers and 195 children here, which for my center equates to about 125 families. Okay. So I explained to them, you see your classroom and your individual problem, but what you don't see is I have all 20 of you coming at me and a whole 125 families coming all at once. So imagine how much time do I have to do my job if I've got 20 of you and 125 families all coming at me with no kind of boundaries, right? So I explained to them that this fire time for me is just the boundaries that I have to set so that I'm not working 12-hour days and working the weekends just to do my own work. I need time to do my own work. And 90% of what you're coming at me with can wait.
Yeah.
I just need this 90 minutes a day. And it's amazing how much work you can get done when you set that 90 minutes aside.
When I coach some of the directors, we've created a schedule for them. Just like teachers have a schedule for their classroom, I've encouraged directors to have a schedule and post it on your door with blocked out time. And exactly, we didn't call it fire time, but it was exactly the time. If you don't have any downtime as a leader, you cannot have a thought process base. You cannot
Yes.
think far ahead. You're always taking care of emergencies today. And
Yes.
you can't run a business if you can't think long term. You can't run a business if you can't envision, if you
Right.
can't problem solve, if you can't
Right.
think critically. And for all of that, you need white space. You just
Mhm.
need some white space, just downtime where your brain can engage.
You just gotta have it. And well, and I like one of my mottos for myself and everything is you have to be proactive instead of reactive. So if
100%.
you're somebody who finds yourself putting out fires all the time,
Yes.
you need to really change your perspective, and you need to prevent fires from happening instead of putting out fires all the time. So you got to shift to be proactive.
That's a really good point you brought up, because I'm sure both of us have worked with directors who feel very important, and they feel a sense of like, oh, I'm needed because I'm constantly putting out fires.
Yes.
But that is not a good strategy, because somebody else's emergency, then lack of planning becomes your emergency. So if they're not planning, they're not thinking ahead, it becomes your emergency. And the next thing you're doing, you're just bopping around, just putting out fires.
Right.
And I had a director like this once, and she told me, she said, that makes me feel really good that I did my job today. I showed up and I did this. And I said, but how exhausting? How
Right.
exhausting.
Yes.
You're not doing your best work when you're constantly in the moment putting out fires for everybody else. Yeah.
Right. Well, and it's empowering your staff too, right? So a lot of times your staff just doesn't have the confidence to make these decisions on their own. So what I would challenge directors out there to look at is when your staff comes to you with a problem, ask them first, what do you think is the solution? If they came up with a good solution, that just means they don't have the confidence in themselves. So a lot of times when you give yourself that block of time, you're forcing them to make their own decisions. So you're not making all decisions for them. And I'll tell you, one of the best signs of a good leader is that if you go on vacation for a week, your center runs fine without you. And I know that seems counterintuitive. Like a lot of people think for job security that the center shouldn't run, but honestly, that is so wrong. The best leaders can walk away and it will go on fine without you, because you've taught and you've empowered your staff to do what they need to do without you.
That's right. And I agree with this strategy of, if you're bringing a problem, I used to always say to the team, if you're bringing a problem, bring 3 solutions with it. Otherwise, do not come with a problem unless you can bring 3 solutions with it. But, this is a strategy even for children, right? So from a very young age, we have to help their brains to start problem solving. So using puppets is a great way. If there's conflict happening, using the puppets, asking the children. So they were fighting, not taking any blames, but they were fighting. These two were fighting. What do you think they should do the next time? Already you're training them to figure out a solution on their own. So by the time they get hired as a teacher somewhere, they don't have to come to the director. What do you think? What do you think? No, what do you think?
Yes, exactly. And show them that you trust them. I mean, you're sending the message that I see you as a capable, smart adult. You don't need me for everything. So if you're that director who's feeling so frustrated because they can't figure out where to put a toy without your input, it's because they lack the confidence. And that might mean you've had a little bit too much control. So empower them, show them that they are competent, smart people, and they will start doing things without you.
Yeah, and that, I think you touched on something else, that, when we've had too much control and we haven't let go of the control because we are the only ones who can do it. And then it comes to bite you, because you've run such a tight ship that nobody knows anything. Nobody can do anything because they can't see the full picture. They don't have the resources. You are carrying the key. I've had all these directors we're talking about. I've coached all of these directors. I've worked with these directors that they have the key to everything. And I'm like, why don't you just put the key to the paper towel up there? Like, why are you carrying it?
Exactly. Right. Yes. And that's the thing, like your ultimate goal as a leader should be to duplicate yourself. And in order to duplicate yourself, that means you've got to teach them how to do what you would do if you're not there. Right. You can't be the one holding all the keys.
And take pride in that. Not
yes.
by it, not feel insecure by it. Have confidence in yourself that I am doing the space that I can contribute, but I'm raising a team. I'm empowering those around me.
Empower them, give them the credit. My childcare center here in my beautiful state of Nevada, we just were awarded 4 stars for our quality improvement. And we're going through NACI with you, so we can get that 5th star awarded to us. Once we're accredited, we get the 5th star. So, and that is something too that I have to give my staff credit for, right?
100%.
I could have done that without empowering them, because I can't be in all 5 of my classrooms. I
No.
can't everywhere all the time. So, and actually, I'm really proud of my staff, because this is the first time they've really done it with me, not as the director. I'm now just the owner, and I'm only there about 2 days a week. So I've seen these ladies just, I've duplicated myself enough times. Yep. I didn't even have to be there for them to accomplish this, right?
Yep. And it shows. It shows. I've been working with your team member for the past 3 weeks now. And, every week we meet, and she is so competent and she's so confident, and we're making progress. And I haven't reached out to you, and you haven't needed to reach out to me, and it's working beautifully. And I'm so excited to be supporting you through NACI, and congratulations on your entire team. What an accomplishment. And Texas doesn't even have 5 stars. We only have 4 stars, but I know how hard that work is. I know how much you have to work to meet all those standards and all those criterias. And NACI is the same way. But when you do it, then you can get a stamp of gold approval that recognizes that, yes, I'm running this quality program.
And also it makes your staff so proud to be a part of your program, because it really, I know as owners and directors, a lot of times they think, oh, why do I need that? It's just but no, they do, because it's that validation, and it tells the world, look at how, it's not our opinion that we're great. This is a national organization saying that we're great, right? But it makes your team feel so proud of themselves. And
the best part, you're doing it developmentally appropriate. Exactly. And you're wiring the right brains when they're little. Like the investment you're making in children, that's going to be for the rest of their life. So all around accomplishment, all around well done. We could talk forever, Evelyn. We just get into these spaces, and we love talking with each other. So if somebody's listening, how can they find you?
Well, you can find me on all the popular podcast platforms, the Child Care Business Coach, and even my Alexa is going to hear me, but you can even find me on Alexa. You could just tell her to play the Child Care Business Coach. I'm pretty much everywhere. You can also find me here in Facebook if you look for the Child Care Business Coach. And I'm pretty much everywhere. Just if you find my name, my company's name is Child Care Business Professionals. So if you want to know more about my membership, it's just www.childcarebusinessprofessionals.com.
Thank you, Evelyn, for joining and sharing your nuggets, your wisdom, and your information. And I hope whoever's listening can benefit from it, because literally we should be paying, for this awesome information. And you're just giving it away freely. You're sharing. You're just giving it away. So thank you, everyone who joined. Thank you for taking the time. I didn't see any comments. I'm not sure who was joining us. But thank you for joining, if you were able to join us. And if you join it on the replay, put it in the hashtag. We love to know if you put it later on, Yeah,
if you have questions, we can check the comments later. So even if you're watching the replay, don't worry about, make sure you leave us comments, questions, because we'll get the notifications.
Awesome. Well, it has been a joy and a pleasure to connect with you, and you have a lovely day ahead of you.
Thank you. You too, Prerna. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.